To what I was saying, could be us.
Uh, Finally, yesterday, what we did? Yesterday, we did about deep sea views, and thereafter, how the industrialization started there, and how there were the people who basically, the men, women, as well as the children, how they were working in the factories, how the working hours were very long, but still they were thinking that the liberals and the radicals were thinking that yes, after opening up industries, people will get job opportunities, and finally there would be development. Thereafter, we saw about the coming of socialism in Europe. The meaning of socialism is basically the control over all the resources should be collect. There should be control over the resources. Suryans is already doing so. Already, it's okay today. Let him do. Okay. Socialism basically is the collective holding of resources. You can say socialism is a concept where every resources, whatever there are, it should be done under the control of the people. It should not be under the control of only one person, like in capitalist countries it happens. So this was the concept of basically this was the concept of the private socialism, in fact. And finally, there was one more thing. Socialist mind is that the socialists were against the private property. They did not allow. They saw it as a root cause for all the problems. Okay. So this we have done. Thereafter, we have done certain cooperative. The socialists talked about the cooperative, opening up the cooperatives. There was one person, Robert Owen, who just opened a community cooperative. Also, the name was the New Harmony in Indiana in USA. Another group of socialists believed that the cooperative should be there, but it should be encouraged by the government. And the famous advocate of that was the Louis Planck. Thereafter, we did about the Karl Marx and the Frederick Engel, who talked about that there should be basically the working class who should be given the power to hold over the resources. Basically, they were also talking about the socialism, and their main motive was to how to reach to communism. Communism was what was that? It was the future society where the working class will have all the powers and they will control their life. So, and there would not be any kind of discrimination done by the capitalist class over the working class. So till here we have seen about the certain parties like in Germany, there was Social Democratic Party. Thereafter there was a party in Socialist Party in France, Labour Party in Britain. All these together joined hands, and finally they propagated the idea of socialism throughout the world. So till here we had done yesterday. Now let's move towards the Russian Revolution. Okay, so now the story begins. That what were the three revolution in Russia? There were three revolutions, in fact. One revolution occurred in 1905. Another revolution occurred in 1917. So in 1917 only two revolutions occurred. One was in the month of February and another was in the month of October. Okay. So three revolutions we have to study in Russian Revolution. Okay. So socialists took over the governments in Russia through the October Revolution of 1917. 1905 revolution was also started, but at the till the time only after coming of the Lenin, when he just took the control from Menshevik. अभी पढ़ेंगे उसके बारे में. This October Revolution basically began. In October Revolution, Lenin came to power, and finally Russia came under the clutches of socialists. So Russia became socialist country after October Revolution, right? So here, the fall of monarchy in February 1917 and the events of October are normally called the Russian Revolution. So जो 1905 का revolution था, that revolution also it was a rehearsal, you can say, it was a practice, or you can say, but final outcome came in 1917 when back to back two revolutions occurred, one in the February month and one in the October month. So let us discuss about the Russian Empire in 1914. Here, what is this? I'm not going to go deep into the heading. मैं इसको इस chapter को instead of reading one line by line, Let me make you understand about the story कि रशियन रिवॉल्यूशन के रीजंस क्या क्या थे. What were the reasons for the Russian Revolution, and it is starting with 1914 even. So first of all, if you see this diagram, Europe diagram 1914, see Russian Empire how big it was, right? And it included what? Just a little description about that. Ruler was Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, and finally the territory was Moscow, the Russian Empire, current day Finland also it included, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. So all these parts you are finding it here. यहाँ पे everything is not mentioned here, but you can see in the map at that time. Europe in 1914, and what was the control of Russia? How many countries were there? Finally, Russia Empire also stretched to Pacific and comprised today's Central Asian states as well as Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. So, itni sari countries ke there is no need to learn all the names, but yes, you should have an idea that Russian Empire was extended from where to where at that time. That is in 1914. And obviously, so many countries are included in Russian Empire. So definitely, there will be different religions also. What were the religions which were followed there? It was Russian Orthodox Christianity, which had grown, and it was the majority religion, in fact, which had grown out of the Greek Orthodox Church. But the empire also included Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists. So Catholics and Protestants are the sect of Christianity itself, but Orthodox Christianity, which has emerged from the Greek Orthodox, that was the majority religion which was practiced here. So it is not there in the worksheet. Just underline here because one question may come from here also. Right now, let us discuss about. Now, I'm going to start my story. That how the Russian Revolution. What were the factors behind it? So, first factor definitely for any kind of revolution, there are political cause, social cause, economic cause, thereafter the philosopher's influence, or you can say the diversity cause or the socio-ethnic diversity. So these are, let me discuss one by one about these. तो सबसे पहले we will discuss about the social condition कि क्या condition थी, and yeah, only this much I am just going to explain. You no need to refer to the book now. Just listen to the story. So Russia was at that time there was the society was basically comprising of two classes. जैसे हमारे फ्रेंच में थी ना दो society three streets were there. Similarly, the society was there comprising of two classes, and these two classes were basically the privileged class and the non-privileged class. What is the meaning of privileged class? Basically, privileged classes were very prosperous and influential classes, and definitely they were holding all the political and economic rights, you can say. So, similar was the case with France. The first state and second state can be called as the privileged classes. तो प्रिविलेज क्लास में वो लोग आते थे जिनके पास सारी चीजें सारे इन्फ्लुएंशियल मेंबर्स थे उसके, और सारे पावरफुल मेंबर्स थे. नॉन प्रिविलेज क्लास में आते थे हमारे फार्मर्स एज वेल एज द वर्कर्स who form about 90% of the Russian population. यानी कि only 10% privileged class was there and 90% was the basically the Russian population, which were only the farmers and the workers. Right? So majority was the non-privileged class in the society. They had to work hard to meet their both ends and had to bear the barbarities of the privileged classes. So definitely they were poor people. They were not influential. So finally they had to work very hard and they had to work under the control of the privileged class. So all the resources were controlled in Russia by the privileged classes. Now let us discuss about the economic causes. And every time economy is playing a major role for any kind of transformation. तो हमने वहाँ भी देखा था कि ट्रेजरी फ्रांस में कि ट्रेजरी वाज एम्प्टी एंड जार निकोलस II वाज नॉट डूइंग गुड. So here what was उस time पे King Louis XVI, sorry, at that time King Louis XVI. Now we are going to read about the Tsar Nicholas II. Okay, Rudraksh, I saw you. Economic condition. What was the condition? And now let us discuss. what was the scenario there? What was the chances? Already we are seeing that there were 90% farmers and workers there. So backwardness of industry was there. Industry was not available in Russia at that time. And agriculture was definitely, it was also very in a very backward or traditional condition. So these two, that is the backwardness of industry as well as the agriculture, were the two main causes which are responsible for the Russian Revolution. Here I am talking about only the economic condition now. We had discussed about the society, social cause, now comes to the economic cause. So farmers, definitely 90% जो हमारे workers और agriculturists थे, farmers थे, उसमें भी 85% were comprising only of the farmers. यानी सबसे ज्यादा मेजोरिटी थी हमारे रशिया में फार्मर्स की, ठीक है. So these were earning their living from the agriculture and the proportion was higher than in most European countries. तो उस टाइम की जो कंडीशन थी यूरोप की, पूरे यूरोप की, that is Britain or whatever, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, whatever the countries were there, at that time the maximum number of farmers were there in Russia. In the empire also, cultivators produced for the market as well as for their needs, and Russia was a major exporter of grain. So definitely at that time, when the people, when the country was moving towards industrialization, other European countries were moving towards industrialization. At that time also Russia was doing agriculture only. और लोग वहाँ अभी एग्रीकल्चर में ही थे, and finally whatever they were growing, they were just sending it to the export, and that was again the kind of income from the foreign investment, you can say, or they were, it's a kind of income for Russia also. So and Russian ruler, that is Tsar Nicholas, was handling everything. He was busy in the export of the grain. Now industry अगर थी भी, so it was found in pockets. Very small industries were there. And finally clusters में नहीं थी, कहीं कहीं पे इंडस्ट्री हमें मिलती थी. एंड फाइनली जब हमारी कंट्री में क्या होगा, जब हमारी कंट्री में ऑलरेडी इफ वी आर नॉट वेरी रिच, हाउ वी विल इन्वेस्ट इन इंडस्ट्री. So finally foreign investors were coming and they were just setting up the industries in Russia. So finally prominent industrial towns were St. Petersburg and Moscow. So this is again important. It is also not in the worksheet. Mark this: St. Petersburg and Moscow. These were the industrial towns in Russia. Okay. Now craftsmen undertook much of the production, but large factories also existed alongside craft workshops. यानी कि उस टाइम पे कुछ हमारे फार्मर्स थे, फार्मर्स ज्यादा थे, वर्कर्स थे भी. तो उसमें भी सबसे ज्यादा नंबर किसका था, हमारा क्राफ्ट्समैन का, मीन्स जो क्राफ्टमैन गर्ल्स थे. Many factories were set up in 1890s, and when कब हुआ हमारा इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन इन रशिया स्टार्ट ही हुआ 1890 में, when Russian railway extended, foreign investment from other countries extended, coal production doubled, and steel output quadrupled. So basically after the coming of new technologies, जैसे कोल का प्रोडक्शन बढ़ गया हमारा, फाइनली आयरन स्टील आउटपुट जो था वो भी 4 टाइम्स हो गया हमारा, रशिया की रेलवे धीरे धीरे एक्सटेंड हुई. So all these things just gave a new way for setting up the industry or the factories, and this industrialization process in Russia began in 1890. Okay, so by the 1900 in some areas factory workers and craftsmen were almost equal in number. लेकिन तब भी after setting up the industries also, the number of workers as well as the craftsmen जो कि छोटी छोटी चीजों में लगे थे, small scale industries में लगे थे, वो उनकी इक्वल उनका नंबर इक्वली था. सो बेसिकली स्टिल द इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन वाज नॉट एट द वेरी हाई पेस. सो what thereafter when the industrialization came to Russia, धीरे धीरे जब 1890 के बाद industrialization began in Russia, then what happened? Basically it split the society into two parts. अभी हमने पहले पढ़ा था privileged and non privileged. Now after coming to industrialization, what was the scenario in Russia? There were two classes in the society. The one class was the capitalist class and the another was the workers class. So capitalist class क्या करती थी? They were basically the owners of means of production. Basically they were the owners of all the industries, factories, mills, and finally they also operated the machines and produced goods, these capitalists were basically what? These capitalists were the classes who were having control over the industry. And the people who were working for these capitalists or industrialists, you can say, by operating machines or by just producing goods, they were known as the workers. Okay, so these two classes were there. One was the capitalist class, another was the workers class in Russia after coming of in the industrial revolution in Russia. Now, what happened? Definitely, country was not very rich. Country was already indulged in agricultural work. So finally, every time there was shortage of capital, हमारी country obviously cannot right now. If I will not be in a condition to invest money in our own market, so what we will do? We will invite other foreign companies to come here and to settle. अगर बाहर से कोई कंपनी आती है एंड फाइनली इट इज जस्ट सेटिंग अप देयर इंडस्ट्रीज हियर और दे आर डूइंग स्टार्टिंग डूइंग बिजनेस फ्रॉम हियर देन दैट काइंड ऑफ मनी इज नोन एज फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट. तो वो हम 10th में भी पढ़ेंगे फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है. तो फाइनली बाहर से कंट्रीज आने लगी एंड रशिया में दे बिगैन टू सेट अप द इंडस्ट्री. ठीक है. But again, if they are coming from outside, their main motive was how to do profit, how to earn more and more profit. So the condition of the working class deteriorated day by day. They were not at all, they were living in fact in a miserable condition, and they were the capitalist class coming from the outside world. They were not at all thinking about any condition of the workers. Again, द रशियन कैपिटलिस्ट जो भी थोड़े बहुत 10% हमारी प्रिविलेज क्लास थी जो जिनमें कुछ कैपिटलिस्ट भी थे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट भी थे. दे बेसिकली अगेन दे एक्सप्लॉइटेड देयर ओन वर्कर्स. उन्होंने भी अपने प्रॉफिट लेने के लिए अपने वर्कर्स को रशियन पीपल को दे वर आल्सो एक्सप्लॉइटिंग. एंड फाइनली द outcome was whether the industry was operated either by the industrialists coming from outside world or from the Russian capitalists. Both exploited workers a lot, and finally the condition of the workers were miserable in Russia. Okay, the workers had to work for 12 to 15 hours. Question also come कि कितने घंटे काम करते थे वो. So around 12 to 15 hours they had to work every day, and wages which were paid to them was very less. Again, children and women were preferred. यहाँ पे देखो फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन में women role was not too much, but in Russia, children and women were preferred as workers. उनको preference मिलती थी working के लिए. क्यों? क्योंकि आप उनको कम पैसे दे सकते हो. They were underpaid, that's why they were given the preference. And women made up about 31% of the factory labor. So a lot of participation was there. 31% in fact women were there. Now workers were divided into social groups. अभी क्या था? अभी हमने कभी अभी तक नहीं सुना कि workers के बीच में कोई division था. But in Russia, what happened? There was division among the workers too. कुछ workers थे जिनको पास अगर थोड़ी सी skill आ जाती थी या जिनके पास थोड़ी अलग knowledge है और they are very expert, तो वो अपने आप को ना aristocrat मानते थे. Workers में भी they used to think that they are the superior one. So division among workers were also there, and division in dress and manners also. यानी वो dress up भी होते थे workers कि भाई मैं तो तुमसे ज्यादा जानता हूँ, तो उनके dressing sense भी अलग थी. Normal workers थे. ठीक नहीं, एक feature है उसका, that is not so important here. Some workers formed associations to help members in times of unemployment. तो उस टाइम पे क्या था कि कुछ ऐसा जब वर्कर्स बहुत सारे थे तो डेफिनेटली द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ because people were motivated by the trade unions also, so they also began few workers began to form association also for providing financial help to each other when they were not employed. But obviously these associations were very less. बहुत कम थे ऐसे association जो कि form हो and finally regulated हो सही से. So this लेकिन इन सब के बावजूद एक चीज थी, workers were divided on the basis of their skill, लेकिन फिर भी वो यूनाइटेड थे. जब भी वर्कर्स की कॉमन कॉज की बात आती थी रिलेटेड टू यू कैन से रिलेटेड टू मनी, रिलेटेड टू लॉन्ग वर्किंग आवर्स, related to you can say any issue where they were disagreed upon, so they basically used to unite, and finally they used to go for a strike also. And here one example is also given of 1902. These strikes took place frequently in the textile industry during 1896-97 and in the metal industry during 1902. So there were incidences of factory strikes also in these two or three places. But again, but I don't think the question of date comes in the NTSC, but still for the safer side market. Now the condition of the peasants. Now this was the condition of the workers which we're discussing about. Now let us discuss about the peasants. ठीक है, peasants की क्या position थी? Peasants were also they were also very miserable. There was this miserable condition. In fact, finally, they were not having their own land and they were working for the noble class. In fact, who were having the properties. तो यहाँ भी problem क्या थी कि landless laborers ज़्यादा थे. वो काम करते थे किसके फील्ड पे, जो कि लैंड ओनर्स होते थे उनकी फील्ड में. नाउ एक बहुत पेक्यूलियर फीचर है यहाँ के पीजन्स और फ्रांस के पीजन्स में. सो लेट अस कंसीडर दैट. Like industrial workers, peasants too were divided, though they were deeply religious, yet they had to respect for nobility. यहाँ पे क्या था कि they were having some respect for the nobility. वो nobility के बिल्कुल against नहीं थे. This was unlike France, where during the French Revolution, peasants respected nobles and fought for them. यहाँ पे क्या था, फ्रांस में हमने देखा था कि though the people were basically they were treated badly by the French people, French nobles, बट फिर भी हर जगह हमने पीजेंट्स ने रिवोल्ट नहीं किया था नोबल्स के अगेंस्ट. दे रिवोल्टेड फॉर द किंग. जब भी उन्होंने अटैक किया किंग के ऊपर किया. बट इन रशिया द कंडीशन वाज वेरी डिफरेंट. इन रशिया पीजेंट्स वर फाइटिंग टू गेट लैंड राइट्स. यहाँ पे लोग ऑलरेडी सोशलिस्ट आइडिया से इम्पैक्टेड थे एंड दे वर आस्किंग फॉर देयर लैंड राइट्स कि हमें लैंड का राइट दो. Finally, to get their land, they refused to pay rent. उन्होंने पैसे देने से मना कर दिया. Finally, उन्होंने इतने ज़्यादा aggressive थे that they also murdered landlords. कि कुछ landlords का उन्होंने murder भी किया. And finally, people belonging to the noble class were bound to give certain land rights also at that moment. Now, there is one more thing, one very important thing here, that European peasants in the production and Russian peasants were different from other European peasants in production and distribution process. एक बड़ी अच्छी चीज करते थे रशिया के peasants. वो क्या करते थे? They used to pull their land together. वो अपनी land को एक साथ इकट्ठा करते थे periodically, off and on. ऐसा हमेशा नहीं करते, but periodically they used to do that. And their commune और mean, यानी कि उनका जो head होता था, मतलब एक पूरे गांव में मान लो उन्होंने अपने पूरे लैंड को कलेक्ट किया एंड फाइनली उसका कोई हेड बनाया और सपोज प्रधान और मुखिया हुसोएवर वाज, उसके हेड को बोलते थे कम्यून और मी. सो ही डिवाइडेड इट अकॉर्डिंग टू द नीड्स ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल फैमिली. अब मान लो किसी के पास 7 एकर्स लैंड है, किसी के पास 1 एकड़ लैंड है, तो टाइम टू टाइम वो क्या करते थे कि सारी लैंड को पुल आउट किया, एक साथ किया और फाइनली अकॉर्डिंग टू द नीड्स यूज्ड टू डिवाइड. So that was the concept, that was the thing, that was the socialism issue you can say. पहली ही बार वहाँ से socialism was already started at the peasant level. कि peasant अपने आप ही वो इकट्ठा करते थे और सारे benefit को वो बांटते थे आपस में. So that is the theme of the socialism. So finally the socialist also gave the example कि कितना अच्छा है ये. हमारे peasants तो already socialism के idea को follow कर रहे हैं कि वो खुद ही कलेक्ट करते हैं और फाइनली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं प्रॉफिट. इट मींस दैट इज ऑल अबाउट सोशलिज्म. सोशलिज्म ऑलवेज सेज दैट देयर शुड नॉट बी कंट्रोल ऑफ लैंड, देयर शुड नॉट बी प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी. यानी कि किसी की 7 एकड़ लैंड है तो उसकी नहीं है, नाउ इट इज बिलोंगिंग टू द होल कम्युनिटी. सो दिस वाज द कॉन्सेप्ट. तो ये तो हमने बात की अबाउट द सोसाइटी, अबाउट द इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन. अब थोड़ा सा जो आपकी बुक में नहीं है, लेट मी टेल यू पॉलिटिकल कॉजेस. ठीक है, political causes which is not there in the book, right? Let me tell you what was the political cause. यानी कि political cause की हम जब भी बात करते हैं तो हम राजा की बात करते हैं. तो वहाँ का राजा था जार निकोलस II and finally during his regime only revolution occurred. तो हमें जार निकोलस II ध्यान रखना है. अब ये जो बंदा था, this person was very inefficient you can say and very short sighted person. बहुत inefficient way में था, बहुत दूर की नहीं सोचता था. He was ruthless and having no concern with administration or the welfare of his subjects. अपने लोगों के बारे में भी उसको नहीं सोचना था. So he was, you can say he was an inefficient ruler and short-sighted ruler. Now उसकी एक wife थी, The name of the wife of the Tsar was Alexandra, Zarina Alexandra. Tsar की wife को हम बोलते थे Zarina. ठीक है. So this Zarina Alexandra was his wife, and finally what she was under the influence of a pope, ए होली डेविल जिसको बोलते हैं. अभी आगे मिलेगा ये हमें, रास्पुतीन नाम था उसका. दिस जरीना अलेक्जेंड्रा वॉज अंडर द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ ए होली पोप. पोप उसको बोलते हैं जो प्रिस्ट है, चर्च के प्रिस्ट को हम पोप बोलते हैं. तो फाइनली दिस पोप के अंडर इन्फ्लुएंस ही मीन्स दिस पोप वॉट एवर ही यूज टू से टू जरीना अलेक्जेंड्रा कि ये होना चाहिए हमारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में. तो शी ऑल्सो यूज टू से टू हर हस्बैंड, and her husband also, that is Tsar, also used to implement that without any thinking. So definitely Zarina is very important for bringing this revolution, Zarina Alexandra. Now the third problem was that Russian bureaucracy was very heavy. यानी कि उसके जो staff थे, जो officers थे, they were very inefficient, you can say. They were very rigid. They were not going to do any kind of mercy to the people. Neither they were touch with the people, यानी वो common masses से touch में भी नहीं थे. Finally what happened, अगर आप common masses की problem ही नहीं समझोगे, तो how you will deal with them? So this was the problem with the Russian bureaucracy. तो Tsar वहाँ का अच्छा नहीं था. This Zarina Alexandra was under the influence of Rasputin, holy devil pope. And finally, the Russian bureaucracy or the staff member of Tsar was also not very cooperative with the masses. अब एक और प्रॉब्लम है, अगेन इट इज नॉट गिवन इन योर बुक, बट लेट मी टेल यू दैट रशिया जो था, रशिया वाज बेसिकली अ वेरी बिग एम्पायर, बहुत बड़ा एम्पायर था रशिया का. और रशिया जार ने बहुत सारे कॉन्क्वेस्ट भी किए थे और उसने जीता भी. So finally different nationalities were the members of Russia. Like under Russia already we have seen that Central and the Eastern Asia was the part, and thereafter certain European countries were also the part of Russia. So the people living there were very different, belonging to different sects, belonging to different community. जैसे कि वहाँ पे finally the people who were living there were, let me tell you, the non-Russians were also living, like Jews were living there, Polish were living there, Finns living, that is the Finland. Finns were there, Germans were there, Uzbeks were there. So these were the group of people who were also living in Russia. And why they were living? Because Tsar Nicholas or the Russian Tsars already they have conquered these places and they have merged that places into the Russian Empire. तो ऑब्वियसली अगर मान लो पाकिस्तान को हमने आज के टाइम में अटैक किया और हमने उसको एनेक्स करके अपने आप में मिला लिया, बट द पाकिस्तानी पीपल विल नॉट बी वेरी हैप्पी. अगर आप ही सोचो कि आपको कोई कंट्री अनेक्स कर ले, चाइना अनेक्स कर ले, तो विल यू बी द पार्ट ऑफ चाइना? नो, यू विल नेवर बी. तो डेफिनेटली, और वहां पे उन्होंने ये भी बोल दिया कि आपको बोलना है तो सिर्फ रशियन लैंग्वेज बोलनी है, रशियन कल्चर फॉलो करना है. So definitely it was very difficult for the people who were living there, that it's a kind of tsardom which was imposed upon the people. So people were not very happy. Okay? And obviously if we're talking about the influence of thinkers, so thinkers में हमारे आ जाते हैं Karl Marx, Frederick and the other socialist parties who were influencing the people with the ideas of socialism. चलो, नाउ लेट्स सी, दिस वाज द बैकग्राउंड की ये सारे फैक्टर्स थे, सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, पॉलिटिकल में जार की बात की और डिफरेंट नेशनलिटीज की बात की हमने. नाउ लेट अस डिस्कस अबाउट हाउ दिस सोशलिज्म इन रशिया ग्रीव, कैसे इंक्रीज हुआ. तो all political parties were illegal at that time in Russia before 1914. जार था तो जार ने किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को अलाउ ही नहीं किया. So the Russian Social Democratic Workers Party was founded in 1898 by socialists who respected Marx ideas. पहली पार्टी बनी रशिया के under the Tsar, and this was the 1898 party, Socialist Democratic Workers Party, underline it, and it was just following the Marx ideas of socialism and communism. ठीक है, communism, sorry. Now what happened, because of the government policing, it had to operate as an illegal organization. अब गवर्नमेंट के अंडर डायरेक्टली तो काम कर नहीं सकते क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट को डायरेक्टली क्रिटिसाइज नहीं कर सकते. तो ये क्या कर रही थी, सीक्रेट मिशन चला रही थी. एंड फाइनली इसने क्या क्या चीजें की, इट सेट अप न्यूज़पेपर, मोबिलाइज वर्कर्स एंड ऑर्गेनाइज स्ट्राइक. यानी लोगों तक पहुंच पहुंच के उसने अपनी चीजों को एक्सपैंड किया. Now some Russian socialists felt that Russian peasant custom of dividing land periodically made them natural socialists. जो अभी मैंने बोला जो कॉम्यून और मीर करते थे, कि सारी लैंड को यूनाइट किया और फाइनली इट वाज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड अकॉर्डिंग टू द नीड. तो कुछ रशियन सोशलिस्ट ये मानते थे कि दिस इज द बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस, आवर पीजेंट्स आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग दैट, so why peasants should not be peasants. पीजेंट्स को मोबिलाइज करो, वर्कर्स पे आप क्यों ज्यादा जा रहे हो कि यहाँ कैपिटलिस्ट और वर्कर्स को ध्यान में ना रखो, आप ना पीजेंट्स को, हमारे पीजेंट्स की नंबर भी ज्यादा है और पीजेंट्स को मोटिवेट करते हैं रिवॉल्यूशन के लिए. लेट वर्कर्स तो वैसे भी बहुत कम है, तो वर्कर्स इशू मत उठाओ, पीजेंट्स इशू उठाते हैं. बट सम socialists were also and that's why they were active in the countryside. वो गांव-गांव जाते थे and finally वो काम करते थे. Now again these socialists who believe that peasants should be mobilized, उस पार्टी का नाम था Socialist Revolutionary Party in 1900. तो हमने अभी तक पार्टी की पहले वाली जो पार्टी की जो डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड के में ऑर्गेनाइज कर रही थी सोशलिस्ट, अभी राइट नाउ वी आर जस्ट डिस्कसिंग अबाउट रशिया. तो रशिया में हमने पहली पार्टी देखी सोशलिस्ट डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी, जो कि डेमोक्रेटिक वर्कर्स पार्टी, जो इलीगल थी और इलीगल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थी और वो सीक्रेटली अपना काम कर रही थी. नाउ अब नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में वी आर डीलिंग विद द टू मोर पार्टी. The one party was set up in 1900, underlying this Socialist Revolutionary Party, who believed that peasants should be mobilized instead of workers. ठीक है. The party struggled for peasants' rights and demanded that land belonging to nobles be transferred to peasants. और इन्होंने हमेशा पीजेंट्स की बात की कि जो भी लैंड हमारे नोबल्स के पास है, उस लैंड को अगेन लैंड शुड बी गिवन टू द टिलर, जो उसको ग्रो कर रहा है उसके पास जानी चाहिए लैंड. नाउ अनदर पार्टी वाज द सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी, जो कि लेनिन की पार्टी थी. दिस लेनिन, हम लेनिन के बारे में आगे बढ़ेंगे. They were disagreed with the revolutionaries and they said that peasants were not one united group. Peasants कुछ united नहीं है, कुछ उसमें से landless peasants हैं, कुछ बहुत poor हैं, कुछ rich हैं, कुछ land lords हैं. तो peasants को हम ग्रुप में नहीं ला सकते, और workers में तो सारे workers poor हैं, ऐसा कुछ बहुत rich और बहुत poor नहीं है. But peasants में there is division among the peasants, कुछ rich कुछ poor. तो हम उनको मोबिलाइज नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज सबके अलग अलग चॉइसेस हैं, सबके अलग अलग इंटरेस्ट हैं. So finally this democratic party of the Lenin, he told that capitalist ने workers को employ किया and workers are the sufferers. So definitely workers को mobilize करो, workers को trained करो and finally उनको revolution में लेके आओ. So the party was divided over the strategy of organization. यहाँ पे जो लेनिन पार्टी थी उस जिनको बोल्शेविक, अब यहाँ देखो यहाँ पे सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी ना बाद में खुद की क्लैशेस की वजह से दो पार्ट में डिवाइड हो गई, बोल्शेविक और मेंशेविक. यानी सोशल डेमोक्रेट वर डिवाइडेड अमॉन्ग द टू. पहली बन गई लेनिन के अंडर बोल्शेविक और दूसरी बनी केरेनेस्की के अंडर, दैट वाज द मेंशेविक. पढ़ेंगे इसके बारे में भी हम. ठीक है. तो लेनिन ने ये बोला कि हमें जार से लड़ना है तो हमें बहुत डिसिप्लिन आर्मी चाहिए और फाइनली बहुत कम लोग हों उस रिवॉल्यूशन में, लेकिन वो क्वालिफाइड हो, बहुत ट्रेंड हो, ताकि हम एक प्लान्ड वे में जार के अगेंस्ट रिवॉल्यूशन कर सके. दिस वाज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लेनिन बोल्शेविक पार्टी. एंड अदर्स लाइक द मेंशेविक, उनका ये मानना था कि पार्टी शुड बी ओपन टू ऑल, यानी सिर्फ वर्कर्स ना हो, सिर्फ पीजेंट्स नहीं हो, उसमें एवरी कम्युनिटी शुड बी देयर फॉर द रिवॉल्यूशन. सो दिस वाज द बिग डिफरेंस बिटवीन द मेंशेविक एंड बोल्शेविक. ध्यान रखना, बोल्शेविक पार्टी वाज लेड बाय लेनिन एंड मेंशेविक वाज लेड बाय द केरेनेस्की. पढ़ते हैं, आगे पढ़ेंगे अभी. अगेन यू हैव टू रीजॉइन बिकॉज आई थिंक दिस सेक्शन शुड बी फिनिश्ड टुडे. नाउ टर्बुलेंट टाइम, द 1905 रिवॉल्यूशन. अब यहाँ से हमारी रिवॉल्यूशन की शुरुआत होती है. ठीक है. यानी कि हमने पहले ही बोला कि तीन रिवॉल्यूशन हुए, एक हुआ 1905 में और दूसरा हुआ था 1917 में, और वो भी बहुत बैक टू बैक दो, यानी एक ही साल में दो रिवॉल्यूशन हो गए, एक फरवरी में और एक अक्टूबर में. और फाइनली अक्टूबर रिवॉल्यूशन के बाद जार एंड हो गया एंड फाइनली कौन आया? नहीं, अप्रैल फेब के बाद ही जार एंड हो गया था. बट अगेन मेंशेविक पार्टी जो भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं, मेंशेविक पार्टी कुड नॉट कंट्रोल द गवर्नमेंट, तो फाइनली उसको भी रिवोल्ट करके लेनिन लेके आया अपनी ओन पार्टी. स्टिल हियर अगर कोई डाउट है तो जल्दी से बताओ. 2 minutes वी आर हैविंग, अगेन वी विल प्रोसीड. Yes, beta.
Ma'am, in the video that was shared in the group, when they select Zelensky as a Prime Minister of Russia.
Again, your voice is breaking, beta. Again, tell me.
Ma'am, in the video that was shared in the group, ma'am, in there it is said that Zelensky was the Prime Minister of Russia.
Yes, 1905 Menshevik came to power. 1905 में he became the prime minister, but he was not able to control the scenario there. So he could be there, he could become the prime minister only for 3-4 months. February revolution के बाद Kerensky came to power और उसके बाद लेनिन ने उसको भी हटा दिया और finally he became the prime minister there. ठीक है, सो दैट्स व्हाई केर्नेस्की केम टू पावर. लेकिन मेन पावर आया अक्टूबर 17 के बाद. जार एंड हो गया था हमारा फेब में ही. फेब रिवॉल्यूशन के बाद जार, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ जार एंडेड एंड फाइनली प्रोविजनल गवर्नमेंट केम टू द एग्जिस्टेंस लेड बाय केरेनेस्की. ठीक है, उसके बाद आया लेनिन जो अक्टूबर में आया. गॉट इट? सो अगेन रीजन.
Yes, ma'am.
Already it is about to end. Please rejoin again. Yes. So Mensheviks were basically, they were thinking that there should be establishment of the socialist ideas. लेकिन ये कैसे होना चाहिए? हम सडन रिवोल्ट नहीं करते, हम साथ में ना एजुकेशन के थ्रू रिफॉर्म लेके आएंगे या फिर वर्कर्स को मोबिलाइज करेंगे, बट धीरे धीरे ही करेंगे थ्रू एजुकेशन. सो दे वर वेरी मच इंक्लाइन टुवर्ड्स द एजुकेशन पार्ट. बट द बोल्शेविक्स वर देयर, दे वांटेड टू स्प्रेड सोशलिज्म थ्रू रिवॉल्यूशन. तो लेनिन ने हमेशा बात की रिवॉल्यूशन की, यानी ऑटोक्रेटिक रूलर को बिल्कुल खत्म कर दो, राइट? Totally uproot the czarist autocracy. Now the leader, if I'm talking, so Menshevik leader was Alexander Kerensky, and finally Lenin was the leader for the Bolshevik party, right? So now let us discuss about the third section, a turbulent time, the 1905. यानी पहली revolution की start 1905 में हुई थी और उसमें 2 इंसिडेंट्स हुए थे. एक तो ब्लडी संडे हुआ था और उसके बाद ड्यूमा का कंसिडरेशन हुआ था. तो स्टिल हियर वी विल डिस्कस टुडे. रशिया वाज एन ऑटोक्रेसी, सब जानते हैं. ज़ार निकोलस II वाज द लीडर देयर, वाज द रूलर देयर. But unlike other European rulers, even at the beginning of the 20th century, the Tsar was not subject to parliament. यानी बाकी जगह भी बहुत सारी जगह monarchical democracy was followed at that time. But the main problem was that in Russia, this Tsar was not at all allowing any kind of parliament. Parliament से उसने बात ही नहीं की. That's why Russia was something different. Liberals in Russia always campaigned to end the state of affairs. वो liberals radicals की बात करते हैं, तो liberals हमेशा ये चाहते थे कि there should be parliamentary democracy, and that's why the social democrats and the socialist revolutionaries all worked with peasants and workers during the revolution of 1905 to demand a constitution. यानी सारी पार्टीज ऑफ रशिया, जितनी भी पार्टीज थी, रिवॉल्यूशनरी पार्टी, डेमोक्रेट पार्टी, लिबरल्स, रेडिकल्स, all wanted that there should be a constitution in Russia. They were supported in the empire. बाकी जहाँ जहाँ पे different nationalities थी, वहाँ से भी उनको support मिला. जैसे कि एक example है हमारा पोलैंड का. Polish people also supported there. Basically, Poland people who spoke Polish language, they also supported this kind of revolution, जहाँ पे हम constitution की बात करें. And the Muslim dominated areas by Jihadists. Jihadists हमेशा आता है. Jihadists were the Muslim reformers within Russian Empire. So Muslim reformers minded Jihadists. They were known as Jihadists, Muslim reformer of Russian Empire, within the Russian Empire, in fact. So the different nationalities also supported the revolutionary party or other parties who were existing at that time in Russia to go for the revolution and to set up a constitution. ये तो हो गई हमारी पहली बात. अब बात करते हैं again back to the workers point here. उस टाइम पे प्रॉब्लम कहाँ शुरू हुई जिसकी वजह से रिवॉल्यूशन शुरू हुआ 1905 का. रशिया में क्या था उस टाइम पे? बेसिकली 1904 में, दैट ईयर वाज वेरी बैड फॉर रशिया वर्कर्स स्पेशली, क्योंकि prices of essential goods rose very high. So due to some reasons, maybe some crop failure and all, this reason is not given here. The prices, जो जरूरत की का सामान था उसकी प्राइसेस बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गई, जबकि उनकी वेजेस में कोई भी बढ़ोतरी नहीं की गई और कोई भी इंक्रीज नहीं हुआ, राइट. So finally, if you're not increasing the wages and the prices of the commodities are increasing, then the purchasing power of the people will decline, right? So that is given here, real wages declined by 20%. So at the same time, prices मिल नहीं रही, और I mean prices rise हो रही हैं और wages भी आपको नहीं मिल रही, lower wages मिल रही हैं. In fact, lower wages 20% lower wages मिल रही हैं आपको. So finally, again, the workers started forming the association, क्योंकि उनको तो obviously they were aware about the association group. So they began to unite, and definitely the membership of the association increased. और ये suddenly इसमें बोलते हैं आग में घी डालना. That was the thing when it happened, when this the 4 members of the assembly of Russian worker, एक assembly होगी, I mean association होगा Russian workers का, जो कि किसी काम के लिए, इंडस्ट्रियल एक्शन के लिए उन्होंने ग्रुप बनाया था. एंड फाइनली दिस पुटिलोव आयरन वर्क्स इज द नेम ऑफ द फैक्ट्री. तो इनमें से 4 लोगों को फैक्ट्री ओनर ने हटा दिया, निकाल दिया, ठीक है. तो डेफिनेटली ऑब्वियसली इफ यू आर गोइंग अगेंस्ट, आपने बहुत सारी मूवीज देखी होगी, अगर आप ट्रेड यूनियन के अगेंस्ट जाते हो तो ट्रेड यूनियनिस्ट क्या करते हैं, वो हड़ताल पे चले जाते हैं, स्ट्राइक पे चले जाते हैं. Similar thing happened here also. So in 1904, within next few days, 10,000 workers in St. Petersburg went on strike, demanding a reduction in the working day to 8 hours, an increase in wages and improvement in working conditions. उन्होंने डिमांड ही शुरू कर दी कि हमें हमारे पैसे बढ़ा दो, हमारे वर्किंग आवर्स कम कर दो, और साथ में हमारी जो वर्किंग कंडीशन है जो बहुत पैथेटिक है उसको इम्प्रूव करो. This was the first incident in 1904 when the industrialists were faced for the first time the revolution by the workers. Around 10,000 workers began their strike. और cause क्या था? Just because of this Putilov iron works ने 4 member को हटा दिया था. ठीक है. Now दूसरा incident क्या हुआ 1905 में, and that was the Bloody Sunday. Now Bloody Sunday के पीछे एक स्टोरी है. On 9th January, इसमें बहुत डिटेल में तो नहीं है, but let me tell you a little bit the story. On 19th January 1905, a large number of peaceful workers led by Father Gapon. Father Gapon, definitely it will come in the NTSC. ठीक है. Father Gapon लीडर था उस पीसफुल डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन का, और वो जा रहे थे विंटर पैलेस सेंट पीटर्सबर्ग में टू प्रेजेंट ए पिटीशन टू द जार. यानी कुछ लोग, कुछ peaceful workers under the leadership of Father Gapon, they were approaching towards the palace. Palace का नाम था Winter Palace. कहाँ था palace? St. Petersburg में. So they were basically going there to file a petition. वो बहुत peaceful था. Obviously petition देने जा रहे हो तो कोई revolutionary की बात ही नहीं है, revolution की बात ही नहीं है. So they were just going to submit their petition. अब जैसे ही वो पहुंचे near the palace, तो जो रॉयल ट्रूप्स थे उनके, यानी जो भी उनके ट्रूप्स थे, जार निकोलस ट्रूप के जो भी ट्रूप्स थे, they thought that they have come to attack over us, over this palace. So finally, Tsar was not there in the palace at that time, and without consulting to the higher authorities, they fired at the workers without thinking. So royal troops ने firing शुरू कर दी peaceful demonstration पे, peaceful you can say peaceful mob पे, and finally around 1,000 workers were killed and 300 wounded. So this was a very hatred incident in the history of Russian history, and that incident took place on the Sunday. It was the Sunday, and that's why it is known as Bloody Sunday. So many a times the question comes here that Bloody Sunday incident leader was Father Gapon. Bloody Sunday date was 9th January 1905. Mind it, now this definitely it will come for the exam. ओके, तो अब ये 2 चीजें हो गई, एक तो इंडस्ट्रियल वर्कर की स्ट्राइक और दूसरी हो गई हमारी ब्लडी संडे. अब ये 2 फैक्टर बहुत इनफ थे to go for the revolution. ठीक है, तो रिवॉल्यूशन उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया डेफिनेटली द एंड अंडर द प्रेशर ऑफ दिस जार ने एक रास्ता निकाला, यू कैन से ही ट्राइड टू फाउंड आउट द वे एंड व्हाट वाज द वे इन अक्टूबर जनवरी में ये रिवॉल्यूशन स्टार्ट हुई थी फादर गैपोन वाली एंड फाइनली इन अक्टूबर द जार अंडर प्रेशर फ्रॉम द मासेस announced the manifesto with the following provisions. उसने एक चार्टर निकाला, उसने एक ऑर्डर निकाला और क्या था ऑर्डर, उस ऑर्डर में 2-3 चीजें थी. पहला था फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच, यानी आज के बाद से लोगों को बोलने का राइट मिलेगा. सेकेंड था फॉर्मेशन ऑफ ड्यूमा. ड्यूमा क्या था, ड्यूमा वाज बेसिकली इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, यू कैन से पढ़ेंगे ड्यूमा के बारे में भी. एंड द थर्ड वाज द फ्रीडम ऑफ फॉर्मिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, यानी 3 हमें राइट्स मिले, रशियन पीपल को राइट्स मिले और वो राइट्स थे और वो भी सब कुछ ओरली था. दैट वाज जस्ट एन ऑर्डर फ्रॉम द जार. फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच, फ्रीडम टू फॉर्म एसोसिएशन एंड थर्ड वाज द फ्रीडम फॉर्मेशन ऑफ ड्यूमा. ड्यूमा क्या था, कंसल्टेटिव बॉडी थी, कोई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं था, एक कंसल्टेटिव बॉडी थी, उसका नाम था ड्यूमा. ठीक है, so finally after what happened during the 1905 this parliament, consultative parliament or duma, it was created, but ये बहुत कम टाइम तक के लिए था and finally it never worked. ड्यूमा ने कभी काम नहीं किया because Tsar was a superpower. He used to take whatever decision he wanted to. After 1905 most committees and unions worked unofficially since they were declared illegal and severe restrictions were placed on political activity. तो freedom of association दे तो दिया, लेकिन जब organizations बनने लगे उनको illegal भी कर देता था. So that Duma or whatever he told, it was just a you can say mockery. Finally, Duma was also dismissed within 75 days and re-elected second Duma within 3 months. तो पहला ड्यूमा काम किया नहीं उसने, दूसरा ड्यूमा उसने सेकंड ड्यूमा बनाया, वो भी काम नहीं किया. So he did not want any questioning why he was doing like this. ड्यूमा definitely जब भी बनती तो people representation would be there और people representation का मतलब था questioning from the Tsar, which Tsar never wanted. And finally he changed the voting laws also and packed the third Duma with conservative politicians. तो पहला ड्यूमा 75 days, दूसरा ड्यूमा 3 months के अंदर आया जिसमें क्वेश्चनिंग राइट बिल्कुल नहीं दिए गए लोगों को. एंड तीसरा ड्यूमा उसने किया जिसमें सिर्फ कंजर्वेटिव पॉलिटिशियंस को डाला जो कि ऑलरेडी दे वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द पास्ट, दे वर टॉकिंग अबाउट द ग्लोरीज ऑफ द रशियन एम्पायर. So definitely 3 Dumas were formed during Tsar session, but it never worked. ठीक है, and liberals and revolutionaries were kept out. तो Duma में ना liberals थे, ना revolutionaries थे, ना कोई bolshevik, ना menshevik, सिर्फ था conservative politicians. They were there, and finally it never worked. So till now here only last session, First World War and the Russian Empire, I couldn't because I told you certain stories related to that which was not there. Still we will be able to do that. So tomorrow we will discuss with the revolution, 1917 revolution, this First World War impact over Russia, and the 2 revolutions tomorrow we will do. Okay?
Okay,
See you
ma'am.
tomorrow. अगर कोई doubt
Okay,
है,
ma'am. Thank you,
was
ma'am.
it interesting? Was
Thank
it
you, ma'am.
interesting or it was just a boring session?
It was interesting.
Hardik, are you able to understand? Today there was a story in fact. Hardik, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Today you understood the story. Today was the session which was interesting or it was again boring?
Ma'am, I have not understand the Doma part.
Duma part. So Duma was basically a consultative parliament. Duma क्या था? Duma एक जैसे ही बना दिया उन्होंने, जार ने एक ड्यूमा जैसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बना दी जो कि सिर्फ आप कंसल्टेटिव इन नेचर होगी, यानी वहां पे बैठ के आप बात कर सकते हो. ठीक है, उसके जो भी डिसीजंस होंगे वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं होंगे. इट वाज जस्ट द इलेक्टेड कंसल्टेटिव पार्लियामेंट, यानी कि लोग उनको इलेक्ट करके अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव भेजेंगे उस बॉडी में, लेकिन उनके पास कोई पावर नहीं होगी. ठीक है, दे विल जस्ट डिस्कस ओवर द इशू, but that discussion will never be fruitful अगर जार ने उसकी बात ही नहीं मानी। तो ड्यूमा क्या था, एक छोटा सा समझ लो एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन था जहाँ से आप लोगों को रिप्रेजेंट करते हो, लोगों को आप इलेक्ट करके भेजते थे रशियन पीपल, लेकिन वो सिर्फ बैठते ही थे वहाँ पे, उनका कोई रोल नहीं होता था, सिर्फ वो बातें कर सकते थे। और उसमें भी अब आप आगे देखोगे तो 3 ड्यूमा बनाए थे उसने। पहला ड्यूमा तो 75 डेज में भी एबॉलिश कर दिया, दूसरा 3 महीने में बनाया जिसमें भी क्वेश्चनिंग राइट्स नहीं दिए लोगों को, और तीसरा ड्यूमा बनाया जिसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ उसके लोग थे, यानी कंजर्वेटिव पॉलिटिशियंस वर देयर, जो कि सिर्फ राजा की तारीफ ही करते थे, सिर्फ वही लोग उसके मेंबर्स थे। So purpose of creating a Duma was not fulfilled by the Tsar. आ गया समझ आदित्य?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. चलो. So see you tomorrow, everyone, with the 2 revolutions which we'll do tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.